So a lot of the time people think, okay, I'm going to make the change. I'm going to, I want to get in shape. So I'm going to run 5 miles. But how are you going to be able to sustain that? No. So it's not going to work for you because you can use your willpower until you run out of it. And if you've ever burnt out, then you know what that experience is like. If you have not had that experience yet, then I encourage you to just take my word for it and not actually have to find out the hard way, because finding out the hard way is a very hard way. It hurts a great deal to actually burn out. And so there is a different way. You don't have to abuse your willpower. That is a way that's often promoted. I've noticed that. I've noticed that there are a lot of teachings out there which advocate for using your willpower in this abusive fashion. I mean, there's a good reason why you have willpower. It's useful, but it should be utilized skillfully. Maybe you need to sometimes use a little bit of willpower just to kind of, get yourself up off the couch. Maybe that's useful if you don't have a better way, at least. But if you're using your willpower not only to get yourself up off the couch, but to then push yourself to run 1 mile, and then to push yourself to run 2 miles, and then to push yourself to run 3 miles, and so forth, and then to keep doing that day after day after day after day. And it's not just with running; it's with how doing your job, and it's with being a parent and being a spouse and being a child and being a neighbor and being a citizen and with all the things that you're doing in your life. If you're using your willpower in this way, that's not going to last for very long. If you have been, so everybody's been born with a different allotment of willpower. Some people were born and they were given a very hefty dose. You got enough that you could ride on that for 40 years. If you got superpowers of willpower, you go from age 0 to 40, and you could just be going from day to night. You could get up at 3 a.m. and you just keep going, go, 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 whip yourself until it's like 11 p.m. And then you get into bed and then you start over the next morning and you just keep doing that same thing until you hit 40, and then you crash. Most of us, blessedly, we didn't get that kind of dose of willpower. So maybe some of us could do that for 20 years, or some of us could do that, like not quite that intensely for 25 years or something like that. But you cannot push yourself beyond how much willpower you have. And there is a limit to that. So if that's the only way that you know how to do things, then now would be an excellent time to learn a different way, because that way will, number one, like I said, you will eventually burn out. And when you burn out, that's going to be devastating if that's the only way that you know how to do things. Think about that. Think about if that's the only way that you know how to do things and your entire life depends upon it. And then one day you can't do it anymore. What will you do then? How will you do anything if the only way that you know how to do things is no longer available to you? So think about that. If you have been abusing willpower, I strongly encourage you to rethink that strategy, because it is not a good way to go about running your life. Because number one, as I said, you will eventually burn out. And also, by the way, in the meantime, how enjoyable is that? It sucks, doesn't it? I mean, come on, you don't want to live your life like that. What's the point? Just whip yourself day in and day out. Look at all the stuff that I've gotten done. Who cares? You don't care. It's like, what's in it for you? You're just miserable if that's the only way that you know how to do your life. So blessedly, there are other ways. And I'm just pointing this out because I see that this is a problem there are many advocates of abusing willpower, and it doesn't work. So please don't mislead yourself and think that that's the only way to be successful in life, because it's definitely not. And I'm also pointing it out because in order to really change your life, it has to be sustainable for you. So trying to do the thing that you think the ultimate expression of whatever it is that you believe is required in order to get the change is not the only way.